it was all women. It was a women's only info session, which was great. And we were all asked, what's your name and why are you here? And I said, hi, I'm Catherine Smith and I'm here because I don't want to hire a CEO.
Today I'm interviewing Catherine Smith, founder and CEO of the emerging designer e-commerce platform, Fundable.
Hi.
Hello. She is currently getting her MBA at Columbia Business School and will shed light on her career story thus far. So Catherine, walk us through your career path, starting with where you grew up.
Sure. So I grew up in Lawrenceville, New Jersey, which is a very glamorous town. Lots of trees. I'm kidding. It's a great town in New Jersey and very educational. Lots of schools, very peaceful place to grow up. And I did my undergrad at Loyola in Baltimore in political science and writing. And then I studied abroad in Paris, where I really fell in love with many parts of the fashion industry and also with the French language. And then I did a master's at Parsons in fashion studies. And now I'm at Columbia and I love school, so clearly.
What advice do you have for someone interested in starting their own company?
I always love when people are interested in starting their own companies. I think it's the most rewarding thing in the world to be an entrepreneur and to have an idea that you want to fight for and you'll get up every day and work really hard to achieve. But I would say the most important thing is to have the right team in place. You need to know who you're going to turn to for legal advice, for accounting. You need to make sure that you have all of the proper paperwork in place and compliance. And another thing that's important is insurance. In this country, we're required to have certain kinds of insurances, like workers' compensation, even if you just have interns. So there's a lot to know, and I think if you start with a foundation of this is who I'm going to ask for legal questions, this is who I'm going to ask for accounting questions and taxes, you're in a good place. And then also think long and hard about your idea and make sure that your idea really solves a problem in the market. And if it doesn't solve a problem, or if 10 other businesses got your solution to market to solve that problem first, you might need another idea.
What does the life of a stylist look like?
The life of a stylist is very busy and very all over the place. In the best way. I mean, the job comes with a lot of variation in schedule and, needing to go and travel to do jobs and things like that. And also, you're constantly working with new people and new brands for new concepts and ideas. So I think it requires a lot of systems to be in place in the way that you run your life as a stylist. It was too up in the air for me. I struggled very much with the idea of having to negotiate a rate every time I had an opportunity. So I preferred to take my interest in product and emerging designers and dressing women and bring it onto a digital platform where I can, from behind a screen, orchestrate a whole organizational operation to get those designers' clothes on the backs of women who will love them.
How did you come up with the idea for Fundable?
Well, it was back in 2014 when this little app called Instagram started changing the game in terms of fashion and shopping and trends. And I was suddenly fielding lots of questions from women around me like, oh, I love that bag you're carrying, where can I get it? And my answer was consistently, over the course of 6 months, the same thing, like, oh, the designers produced 25 units, they already sold out, but I think they're gonna do another run, but it might be 6 or 9 months until you can actually get your hands on a bag. And so, after a consistent 6 months of this whole, what is that new product that doesn't have a big brand name on it, and where can I get it, and consistently telling women it's just not available, I recognized that there was a void in the market for an e-commerce solution that focused on these cool niche brands that are well made by designers that have had great educations and they've worked for amazing designers themselves, so they've been exposed to where's the best fabric mill, how should I find a pattern maker, and that's sort of where it all came from.
So paint a picture of what Fundable looks like.
So Fundable looks like the most beautiful e-commerce site you've ever seen. No, I'm just kidding. It is very beautiful, but I started this company to really become the online destination for luxury fashion by emerging designers. And what does that mean, luxury fashion? I feel like everyone uses this word, but for us it means high quality, beautiful pieces that are unique and well-fitting by designers who are going to be so excited to see a woman wearing their clothes.
Yes, that sounds fabulous. What setbacks have you had along the way, and how have you overcome them?
Oh my gosh, setbacks. There have been many. And frankly, I'm so glad you asked this as well, because I think there's this false sense that it's really easy to balance things, or that perhaps I make it look like it's easy to balance a lot of things. It's not. It's not easy. I have basically had to tell my friends that I love you. I cannot come to that party. I can't make it to that dinner. I need to see you in January. And they're so supportive, but things have to go. Things have to drop when you're in a major period of professional growth.
Great. And what does your day-to-day look like?
My day-to-day has been different this fall because I've really scaled back a lot of my external meetings or some of my social life to balance this executive MBA program. But I would say my day starts around 8:30. I am not a morning person, though I try to be. I make a coffee. I have an espresso machine in my home office, which is also my living room, which is also where we're sitting. And I try to focus on anything that's come onto my desk from the night before, maybe in Europe or some of our partners in Asia. And then I make sure that I have a to-do list. I am very list-oriented, and that's kind of how I feel like at the end of the day, a sense of what I've accomplished. Because I set all of the goals for myself. I don't have a boss who's telling me you need to meet this metric. So for me to stay accountable and sane, I rely heavily on goal setting and to-do lists, and I probably have a call or 3 calls with different partners to make sure that we're moving forward, and I may have a meeting or 2.
Great. And was the transition from editorial to styling a natural one?
Yes, it was. I was given lots of opportunities at the magazine that I was most recently at to contribute, fashion reporting or market work for fashion shoots, even though I wasn't in the fashion department. So that was something that, became clearly more of an interest of mine, and I wanted to focus on dressing women, for red carpets or for TV appearances, and also to work on editorial stories myself. And so it was a natural transition. It was not necessarily the best fit for my personal, the values that I like to have in my day-to-day life, because it, as I've said, it was lots of variation, and I do like some more consistency, because I think that's kind of how I feel more serene in my life. And if there's a lot of variation, I tend to feel very stressed and anxious. So styling was not something that I felt that I could do full blast all the time, but I do still style select things that make sense that I'm really excited about and that I have time to dedicate to.
Congratulations on your acceptance to Columbia Business School. How will getting your MBA affect Fundable?
Gosh, it's already been so helpful. Getting my MBA has definitely empowered me to feel more confident in negotiations, and shown me how to think not so much just about the growth mode that we've been in for several years, but to think ahead to real strategy and how are we going to be profitable, how are we going to be profitable in the long term, how are we going to create value for our customers, for the people who work with us, the designers, and how are we going to really continue to be very competitive in a rapidly evolving e-commerce age. And it's allowed me to think through and kind of quantify many of my more abstract ideas, and also put me in touch with this incredible network of people who are so supportive and interested in helping their classmates with their ideas. And Columbia and everyone I've met there is very interested in entrepreneurship. There's not necessarily a ton of entrepreneurs in my program, but there is a good number, and we've all banded together already to share resources and ideas and just help each other grow.
Are you mathematically inclined? If not, how did you sharpen your skills?
Sure. So I am not mathematically inclined initially. However, I have really fallen in love with numbers because in my business they have such a context, right? Like the numbers in my business now represent the women who have come to us and given their trust to our business to say, I know this dress is gonna look great on me. And it represents the designers who are growing with our partnership. So they're no longer just numbers in a spreadsheet, they are my personal story in a sense. So that was one of the reasons that made me think about business school, as I suddenly cared more about numbers. And I've just by being exposed to my classmates and the way that they bring in things from their own work environments, like somebody at JP Morgan perhaps will show me a spreadsheet, and I just have never seen a spreadsheet that looks so beautiful or works so well. And so that has shown me lots of different ways that I can integrate different tools to understand numbers. And yeah.